All right, Sagittarius, time to get into your tough shit message. I wanted to go ahead and do this because a lot of people were talking about what do I need to let go, release so that I don't bring it into 2020. And I was talking to a few people that I was doing readings for, and I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. That's a good question. Let's look at it as a whole and see how each sign would progress if they let go of certain things that were holding them back. Now, of course, general reading won't apply to everybody, but for a lot of you, you may find a place or find something that you really connect with that shows you exactly where there could be some stagnation, where you feel like things could be released. Some of you may have already started working on this. For a few of you, this may be something that is in your past, which is really great if it is. But for those that are still trying to figure out and still a little stuck, this is going to kind of help you release baggage or let you pinpoint on baggage that needs to be released so you can focus on things to move you in to 2020. So Sagittarius, I know my baby girl is a Sag. So let's see. Sagittarius, what do they need to release? We're going to be using Tough Shit Tarot because it's very direct, straight to the point with the messages. There's no hee-hawing with it. Kind of takes you straight there. And you can utilize the message or completely ignore it. It depends on whatever you want to do. But let's look into it, Sag. What do they need to release, Spirit? All right, let's look. The energy of your father and his lineage are currently being played out in your choices and actions. Remember that you can honor your father without becoming him. There was a time when you ruled your social circle. Perhaps you were a prom queen or star athlete. Whatever it is, this card indicates you are living in the glory of your past in an unhealthy way, and it would be better served by being present and accepting of this moment. Your constant ideal for perfectionism is a source of physical illness in your body. Try opening your mind to something you never believed you could accept, and you will experience a positive body change. The challenges you are currently facing are not actually your problem. Give yourself permission to let go and walk away. Fear is challenging you to find your courage. Remember that you are supported by the universe in all of your choices. There is no right or wrong. It's just a matter of which direction you would like to go. You're knowing that you're throwing a childlike temper tantrum right now. Nourish that unhappy child with some quality food and rest in order to transform the situation. This whole card was Jasmine. Tantrum and food. Hangry. That is my reality in this household. Hangry, especially with a vegan. An angry vegan, oh my God, even worse. All right, so let's get into it. So Sagittarius, some of you are dealing with daddy issues. There could be some upbringing or some energy from dealing with a father figure. This could be biological. This could be an uncle. This could be a big brother. This is showing that there is some need where somebody may have gave you the indication that you needed their permission or their acknowledgement for you to move forward. And some of you are still kind of struggling with that. It's almost like I want to make you proud. You know, I want to do things that are going to make you accept me. So some of you could be still making choices in your life based on some type of parental guidance that you haven't disconnected from. Now, for some of you, you could still be young and you could be trying to adult and sever that tie. For a few of you, your parent may have transitioned, but you're still in a state where it's like, I want to make you proud. I want to do something that makes you acknowledge me, makes me stand out in your eyes. So it's showing that for some of you, this could be an unhealthy situation where you may have to address this. Now, you may need to talk to a friend and a spiritual advisor. For some of you, you may actually need to go to therapy. It is showing that there could be some inner child work that needs to be done. For some of you, there could be a traumatic experience that's still tying you to this person that you haven't been able to kind of release, but there's some type of underlying feeling of still feeling the need to connect with this person, whether you understand it or not. Some of you may not even be talking to this father figure or this authoritative figure in your life, but there's still something inside of you that is still seeking acknowledgement from that person. Now, a time when you ruled your social circle and now you're not the head of the group or the leader. Some of you may be living in the past where it was like, I used to do this, or this was my skill set then, or I accomplished things, or like me, I used to be able to eat a salad and lose 5 pounds. Well, that was back when I was 20. Doesn't work now. For some of you, you need to kind of come to grips that whatever happened in 1998 was in 1998. We got to look at 2019, 2020 as what's coming in now. For some of you, there's some changes that need to be made, but you have to release your past. And for some, this could be that childhood trauma. Also, have to release this past so that you can move forward. For some of you, there's a need to still stay connected. Now, for some, let's look at it and be logical. There is abuse. There is verbal abuse that some of you are still trying to make I'm going to show you type of attitude. Like, you told me I couldn't do this, but I'm going to show you. Or you showed me I couldn't be this type of person, but I'm going to show you. But there is this underlying thing where you're connected to an energy that you don't have to be connected with. You don't have to prove anything to anybody else. You need to prove everything to yourself. So if you're still stuck with an energy where you're trying to prove who you are, what you can do to other people, you need to let that go, because that is a belief system that is either outdated or it never was something that needed to be in the first place. I feel for some of you, you could have grown up in a household where they put a lot of pressure on you to be a certain type of person. And some of you are still struggling with trying to fulfill that, but it may not be who you are in this present time. So you have to be really honest with yourself and say, who am I trying to prove this to? If you're doing something to boost yourself up because that's where you want to be, then that's one thing. But if you're doing it because you know that you're trying to make other people proud, you got to kind of give yourself a little bit of leeway with that. Because for some of you, you're not going to ever make this person proud. It could be a situation where it was unrealistic or unattainable goals that were set for you as a child. And there's still this connection of wanting to do it or needing to do it and struggling to do it. It is shown with the card number 3, this constant need, perfectionism. It's causing a lot of people to stress out, not feel well, because it's like, I cannot rise to the expectations of someone else, which we shouldn't anyway. Our expectations should be what we want, what we need. Now, we got to be realistic, though. If the expectation is to be the president of the United States and you're not in politics, then it might be a problem. If there is an expectation to move to another country or be a CEO of a company, but you're not getting educated or you don't have the education to do that, or even the talent or the gift, because let's be honest, we got a lot of CEOs and a lot of billionaires that never went to school or never went to college. So I'm not going to put that limitation on you. But there is this thing of wanting to be perfect, wanting to be seen, wanting your status to be seen. And it's because you need that. Now you have to ask yourself, how is that holding me back? Is this something that I need for me? Or am I doing this because I want other people to clap? Now, this could be people that need the audience. And if you need it, that's one thing, but understand you have power over that. You're doing it for you, for your accolades. You're not doing it for other people, or you shouldn't be doing it for other people. But it's showing for some the stress of having to be perfect, having to be on 24/7 is causing some of you to be sick. The stress is causing issues with immune systems. For some, there's gaining weight, emotional eating, because there's a lack of feeling in control of what you want because you're doing things that other people want. So you got to let that go. Now, with card number 5, we have fear is challenging you, which means there are changes that are coming through, but there's a fear of these changes. I think a lot of you, there's a fear of failure. There's a fear of embarrassment, not wanting people to see you fall, wanting to accomplish something, but being afraid that if you don't accomplish it, that people are going to talk about you, or they're going to make fun, or there's going to be, this whole thing of being ridiculed because you weren't good enough. There's a lot of pressure that you're putting on yourself, Sagittarius, that other people aren't putting on you. If you had somebody in your life that was doing this to you, it's showing that there needs to be a disconnect with that energy, because for whatever reason, it's not feeding you in a positive way anymore. It's becoming an obsession for some of you to really push yourself to stand up to what somebody else's expectations are. With card number 4, the challenges you're currently facing are not actually your problem. Give yourself permission to let go and walk away, which means some of you are dealing with things that you don't have to deal with. They're not your problem. You don't have to be in situations that are not conducive to your growth because they're not your problem. You don't have to solve somebody else's issue because it's not your problem. For some of you, you may feel drawn into other people's things because there's this thing of status. Let me come in here and fix it and make things better for you and make things right for you, because then I'll be seen. The thing about it is that you got to be careful that you're not putting yourself in situations, environments, relationships that are not healthy for you, because I feel for some of you, there is something that is going on that's toxic. And it's because of perfectionism, wanting to be seen a certain way. You got to be careful that you are not allowing yourself to be drugged into things that you don't need to be a part of. Especially even if you're trying to save people, there's this moment of having to step back and say, let me focus on me. Because I feel like what is happening, Sagittarius, are distractions. You're a fire sign, so there's this climb to be a leader, which you will be. Most Sagittarius, most fire signs are very successful people. I think the thing about it is that they worry sometimes about what people think of them, how they're perceived. And that's a distraction because it kind of keeps you from growing, because you got to stop and go, okay, are they looking at me? Is this what they want from me? Is this what I'm supposed to be giving them? And then you reroute everything to kind of fit into what everybody else wants. And it distracts you from really what your path needs to be. And that's your growth, your focus on you. So for a lot of you, you got to let go of this need to be seen by people that are non-factors, which means that they're not contributing to your growth. They're not giving you anything positive to move you forward. They're kind of taking away from it because they keep pulling your energy somewhere else, where it's like, okay, now I got to go take care of this for them, or they need me to do this for them, or I need to be over here. There's something with being scattered all over the place where you can't get the target that you want, Sagittarius. You got to let it go. And then we got card number 6, throwing a tantrum. Nourish that unhappy child with either food or rest. Some of you are pushing yourself to the point where you have too much on your plate, whether you're dealing with people that keep asking you to do things, or this is you piling things on your plate because you want the accolade. You want to be seen a certain way. For some of you, it's too much. You got to take something off. Spirit is saying you need to eat better, take care of your health better, get your rest, because in that way, it'll help you get to that target that you want to get to. But for some of you, it's too much. Too much. It's weighing you down. So you have to start being accountable and looking at yourself and going, okay, what can I take off the plate that I don't have to deal with? Because it's showing a lot of you the challenges that you're dealing with are not yours. So if it doesn't belong to you, cross it off the list. Mimi over there has a garage that needs to be unpacked. You're not a mover. I can't go over there. You can volunteer and say, you know what, Mimi, I can help you do a couple of boxes if you feel like you have to. But if you know that is not something that you need to be doing, that they can hire a mover or there's other people that can do it, then you need to kind of say, you know what, let me focus on this project that I need to complete. Because I get a lot of starting the project, but there's something wrong with the follow through. It's like you get distracted. And for some of you, it's almost like you're welcoming this a distraction because it's kind of keeping you from your target. There's a fear of failure. So for some of you, it's like, oh, you know what? I want it, but if I get it and it doesn't work out, then people are going to look at me and say, oh, she can't or he can't do it. So I'm going to let these distractions keep me from growing the way I need to. And it's not going to stop you. What it's doing, it seems to be slowing you down. So be really careful for distraction, Sagittarius, because it's showing that for a lot of you, when you don't get your way, you get really frustrated, irritated, and pissed off. And it's like, I put in so much hard work. Why is it not happening the way I want it to happen? It's not that it's not happening the way that you want it to happen. It's that you're being distracted. So it's taking you a little longer to complete. So you have to kind of start prioritizing your energy. And then you have to start making choices and stop overthinking. I want to do this. I want to start my YouTube. I want to do my website. I want to do my business cards. I get somebody that's doing things over and over again. They keep getting to midpoint and starting over, getting to midpoint, starting over. You got to go ahead and follow through. You got to follow through. Some of you using distractions not to follow through. And for a few of you, I feel like it's a fear of failure, a fear of not being able to complete something the way that other people want you to complete it. It's not about other people. It's about what you want, what you need for you. And it's showing that for a lot of you, you need to take the focus off of all this other stuff around you and say, what do I need to do to move forward into 2020? And it's not going to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect, Sagittarius. Stop trying to live up to the hype that you know, the weave has to be perfect. The makeup has to be perfect. The shirt, the clothes, the skinny jeans, whatever you're doing. It's not about that. Those are the aesthetics of what you're trying to do, but they're not the focus of what you're trying to complete. A lot of you are building success. You're building levels of success, which means that you have to put your focus on what your end game is. Don't get distracted by other people's problems. Don't get distracted by thinking everything has to be perfect before you put it out there, or else you won't put it out there. It's going to slow you down. Don't get distracted by what somebody from your past told you as a child. You know, their expectations of you. At this point in your life, you should be dealing with what you expect from yourself. And you have to be realistic. You have to. There's no such thing as perfection. There's going to be times where you fall. There's going to be times when you get back up. You're going to meet people that can help you. There are going to be times where you have to kind of switch and navigate. That's part of life. But nothing is perfect. Let go of that idea that everything has to be lined up in a row for you to get where you need to be. It's not going to be that way for you, Sagittarius. A lot of you are leaders. The fire energy is carrying you up, but you got to give into it and embrace it. And understand that the whole purpose of it is to elevate you to the level that you want to be. Don't be afraid of your own energy. Don't be afraid of your skill set and your abilities to be successful. Because for a lot of you, this is your path. Don't let things distract you off your path, especially fear. There's a few cards that are showing that you're afraid. Some of you are afraid of success. What's going to happen when I get there? Well, I don't know how you got to get there. Do it. Can't be bad. For some of you, the money is there and that's what you want, Sagittarius. I'm not going to say it makes everything perfect, but a lot of you want this money. But you're afraid that you won't be able to do it the way you want to do it. You can, but you have to be very realistic about what you want and what you're trying to do, and do it for yourself. Stop living in the expectations of what other people want from you. Be realistic about what you want and then accomplish it, because you can. You're a fire sign, Sagittarius. Major energy that is pushing you into 2020. And for a lot of you, it's going to bring you to a place that is really successful, that has money attached to it. If you keep allowing yourself to be distracted, it's going to take you forever to get there. You don't want to be 70 years old and reaching that goal. Do it while you can now, where you can enjoy it, the fruits of your labor. Got to do it, Sagittarius, for you. All right, you guys? Love you.